Well, hello there. It's Tuesday afternoon. Just been listening to the radio, GB News radio to be exact, and I've just heard, the second time today, I just heard a little advert advertising some woman's show, and she just come out with a statement in the advert for the show saying that she thinks that cyclists should pay some form of road tax. Now, what is it with people thinking that cyclists have to pay road tax? Road tax, as we all know, was abolished in 1937 and was replaced with vehicle excise duty. Yes, I know it's still a tax, but the money that your road tax that you pay, or the VED that you pay, doesn't go towards the roads. It goes into the pot of general taxation. So little old ladies who don't drive cars, they pay road tax. Small children who go into shops and buy their penny chews, yeah, I know it's probably about 50p now for a penny chew, they pay tax on their sweeties, which goes towards funding the roads. The council tax pay for funding the roads. Your income tax goes towards funding the roads. But part of that VED that you pay does actually go towards motorways. So you want to tax cyclists. A bicycle weighs roughly about 15 kilograms, maybe less, maybe more, all depending on how light you want your bike. Mountain bike will probably weigh about 15 kilograms. You get an e-bike, it may weigh 20 kilograms. Now, you compare that to a car that weighs 2,000 kilograms. Which does more damage to the road surface? A bicycle with teeny tiny tyres, or a car with 4 great fat tyres that runs at 2 tons and does minimum of 30 miles an hour up to 60 miles an hour, even 70 miles an hour on some of the dual carriageways. So who's going to do more damage to the road surface? Oh yeah, a car. So based on the amount of damage that a vehicle does on a road, it doesn't equate to the road tax. My car, I pay £600 a year road tax. My wife pays, I don't know, a fraction of that. Yet she does more miles than I do. She drives her car every day. She does at least 10 miles every day in her car, backwards and forwards from work. Yet she pays less road tax than I do. You know, I might only do 200 miles a month. Sarah, on the other hand, is doing 300 miles a month, running backwards and forwards. I probably don't even do 200 miles a month, to be honest. I'm still using the fuel that I bought back in November, and I normally get 400 miles on a tank. So since November I've done actually about 200 and something miles. So yeah, I don't use the roads a lot, but I still pay my VED, right, which is a pollution tax, whether I use the car or not, which to my mind is crazy. So as bicycles don't produce any emissions, the same as an electric car doesn't produce any emissions, yet the VED for an electric car is the same as a bicycle. So what is this woman saying? She's not going to respect cyclists because they don't pay road tax. Or does that mean she's not going to respect electric cars either because they don't pay road tax? Does that mean that this woman on GB News is going to disrespect horses or pedestrians because they don't pay road tax? Is this woman on GB News going to disrespect? You run a cyclist into the side of a car at 12 miles an hour, you may just scrape the paintwork. It may cost you £100 to fix it. That's why you don't have insurance or compulsory insurance for bicycles, because the amount of damage that a bicycle can do to a car is insignificant compared to the damage that a car can do to another car. It's all down to inertia. You're travelling at 30 miles an hour at 2 tons. That's a lot of momentum and a lot of damage. That's why it's not compulsory. But there are over 200,000 cyclists with insurance. That's with the insurance company that I'm with, because it's BritishCycling.org is who I'm with, and not only do I get discounts if I buy anything from the shops, I'll get a 10% discount if I buy stuff. So it makes it worthwhile, if you're buying stuff, of course, to have that insurance. It costs me something like less than £10 a month. It's probably less than that. It's probably about £7 a month to insure my bicycles. Whether, you know, if I hit somebody and cause some damage, I have liability insurance to pay for that damage done to the other person, and also my contents insurance covers the cost of my bike. If my bike is stolen, then I'm insured. If my bike is damaged out of the house, I'm insured and it gets replaced. And it'd be a pretty stupid cyclist not to take advantage of the house insurance that you're paying for anyway. I pay a little bit extra on house insurance to cover losses outside of the house. So, I mean, that hardly costs anything either, because it's all built into the house insurance. They know that you're not going to be taking your bike out of the house 24 hours a day. It's only be for a couple of hours a day, isn't it? And then she's talking about having registration plates. I know I've talked about this before, but how are you going to register a bicycle? As we all know, car drivers, when they're caught by the police and they're asked to nominate a driver because of a driving offence, they don't have to. So all a registration number on your bicycle will do will just identify the owner of the bike. Like I said before, if you claim that someone stole your bike, how are they going to prove that that's not the case? If they haven't got the person that was riding the bike, they've only got the registration number, then all you've got to say is I wasn't riding, and that's it. There's so many bike thefts in this country. Every day there's bike thefts. There's gangs of thieves that go out looking for bicycles, and they have the battery powered disc cutters that cut through chains. So yeah, it happens all the time. So I really wish GB News would get their facts right. Cyclists, it's getting windy. Cyclists don't have to wear a helmet by law, but it's a good idea to wear a helmet. Same as cyclists don't have to wear brightly coloured clothes, but it would be a mistake not to. Cyclists must use lights after dark. You must have reflectors on after dark. Now, I don't plan to go out after dark, and I could argue that the lens on my light would act as a reflector anyway. But yeah, I don't go out after dark. And while I'm at it, cyclists don't have to use cycle paths either. A cycle path, if it's good, will be used, but if it's no good, if it's got potholes, if it's got broken branches and leaves and thorns, then people aren't going to use it. Now, if there was a fairly decent cycle path, I'd use it just to be safe, get away from these mad motorists that want to kill you. But anyway, that's it. That's my little point. Cyclists don't have to pay road tax because they pay for the roads out of their general taxation. Now, because I haven't used my car for a long time, do you think I should get a refund on my VED? I think so. When I take my bicycle out instead of using my car, should I get a refund on my VED? I think I should. So who will end up paying more in taxation to use the road? It will be the car users, because they're the ones doing the damage. It's no other reason. They're damaging the roads. Anyway, that's enough rant for today. Yeah. And there's a blackbird watching me. Anyway, so I'll call it a day. I'll see you later. Bye then.